Capricorn, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and Capricorn, this is going to be a general reading for you, and there is no date on it, so I trust that when it comes into your feed, it's meant for you. And in today's reading, we're going to be doing the series, It's Time to Be Seen. And this series is inspired by a shamanic course that I just finished, and it was called Personal Transformation. And it's all about... the course was all about digging into your soul and seeing what parts of yourselves you've hidden. And those are the parts, we're going to see how we can finally bring those to light. And it's all about around visibility. And so we're going to start to look at in particular what part of you is still hiding. And that will be the part that it's an issue or a pattern or something that you've always been dealing with all your life. Like if I had to sit down with you and talk to you, you'd tell me, well, I always have this issue. It always comes up over and over again. And so that's what we're going to look at. So when we do get to part one, there's probably something when I do it, you'll probably go, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Part two is going to be what challenges are testing your growth. And so we're going to look at what blocks you have or the resistance to moving forward with whatever it is that you're wanting to do, whether it's a small thing or something really big for yourself. But it tends to be around, making yourself a bit more visible sometimes, and people are going to start to notice. And so when you're in that kind of a situation, that's where a lot of the fear comes out, and we have some memories around there. Some of us have trauma associated with that. And so we're going to look at that and what is it you need to heal. And then finally, we're going to look at what soul gifts you came here to share with other people. And we'll get a glimpse of that. And that will open up a few things for you, I think, when we get to that part. And so what I'm going to do at the end of this reading is I'm going to share a bit. I'm going to leave a video for you if you haven't had a chance to see it. And it's about my own personal journey lately and how I've discovered that the shamanism was calling me. And so I took an intensive course, a couple courses, and one was a 2-week long course in June that I took for shamanism, and I'm now a shamanic healer. And so there'll be an offer for you on the video at the end that I'll put out for you at the end. So we're going to get started with your reading, and I'm going to be using the Tarot of the Abyss. And to clarify that, I'm going to be using the AE Weight deck. It's not Rider-Waite, just Weight deck. It's the box is downstairs, but this is it has the orange back to it, and that's how you recognize it. And then I'm going to be pulling at the end a Shaman's Dream Oracle card. And I've really enjoyed using these cards. I've used them a few times in my readings, and I've just find the message that it gives you is just like, if anything, it solidifies what I'm saying to you. So let's get started. We're going to ask for what part of you is still hiding, Capricorn. So if I can have one card for that, please. What part of Capricorn is still hiding? Okay, so you have the King of Swords in reverse and the Three of Pentacles. It's interesting. I like this depiction of the Three of Pentacles with the two hands that are grabbing at this rope, right? Grabbing. It's almost like people grabbing for dear life, just holding on, hanging on. And so maybe that's where you are right now, just hanging on. I mean, there's a lot going on in the universe right now, the energies. What challenges are testing your growth for Capricorn? One card for Capricorn. What challenges are... one card. Challenges are testing Capricorn's growth. I just need one card. There it is. Six of Wands. What soul gifts did you come here to share? Six of Cups in reverse. All right, so let's get some clarifiers for these. Couple, maybe one card for this top row here, the King of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. And you have the King of Pentacles right beside the Three of Pentacles. It tells me a lot about where you're sitting. Six of Wands. Oh, that one wanted to come out. Three of Pentacles. Interestingly enough, it's landing right underneath the other Three of Pentacles above it. And this second row is going to be your shadow when you're a child, when you're an adolescent, coming up here. One more card for that. That was really sloppy. I'm going to redo those. I just felt like I was getting really sloppy. All right, let's try that again. One more card here for the Six of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. It was like my hand was going, I don't want to, I'm tired. But no, we're going to get this card out. Just need one more card here in the middle. I'm kind of interested to see what's going to come out here for you in the middle. I'm not sure. Did one flip over? Nope. There we go. There we go. Oh, Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups. Okay. Yeah, okay, that explains a lot for your childhood. Okay, Six of Cups. A couple cards for the Six of Cups, last row. And then we can get going on. I'm going to put that one back in. Okay, you have the Seven of Wands in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse. Okay, so let's pull out an oracle card for you for the end. I'm not going to read it right now, but I will pull it out. So one card for Capricorn for the end. Number 3. All right. Okay, so I'm going to say that we're going to start off with the King of Swords, and you also have the King of Pentacles. And they are bookends to this Three of Pentacles that's in the middle. And so let's talk about the King in my deck. The King refers to the masculine part of yourself, which is your ego self. And so the ego self, this whole row is about what you're still hiding. And so the part of us that does the blocking, the part of us that will prevent us from moving forward and doing what we want to do, is oftentimes the ego self, because it's a scared part. And I'm going to say you have a heck of a lot of fear that is blocking you from taking this next step, whatever it is you want to do for yourself. And I call something creative whenever it has anything to do with you, when you're taking your life in a new direction, you're doing something different for yourself, whether it's a big thing or a small thing. But you have an incredible amount of fear. And you know that because you're spinning in your head and you continue to say these things over and over. And when you're in your head a lot, when you can't stop the spinning, you know, when you're getting up at night, you're getting up sometimes at 3, 4 in the morning every day. And I find when you get those nights every once in a while where you just can't fall asleep and you're like, it's almost like you just had 10 cups of coffee, but you haven't. right? That's the ego self that will come up, because it's sort of the thing with the ego self, and then we'll get on with the reading, but it's important because you have two of them right here. But the ego self is a really scared part, like I said, and it only remembers from your childhood. It only remembers what happened to you when you were young and when you were an adolescent. And so if there's something that, let's say, traumatic around what you want to do, if there's something, some memory associated with it, if maybe you tried this when you were younger and something happened, that was traumatic for you enough, and they're going to remember that. And so they're kind of going, no, don't do this. Or they're kind of going, don't you remember when you did this and what happened to you? Or things like that. Or they'll say, no, you can't do this. You're not smart enough. You're not smart enough. But those things that you're saying in your head, Capricorn, are the things that you've heard when you were younger. And then in the middle of this, it's almost like you're so caught up in your head right now with these thoughts and this spinning and this fear. And it's like, this is you just holding on to dear life. Because the fear can become quite incredible in our system, and we don't know what to do with it. And maybe, I always look at the Three of Pentacles as it's a therapy card, or just, reaching out for help. And I think you're either considering that, maybe you're thinking about going back to therapy, but you're realizing, I need help with this fear. I don't understand where it's coming from. With fear, we know what it feels like, and it's just sitting in our body, and maybe you can feel it with all the anxiety going on in your system, and we know it's there, but we just don't know what to do about it. And so we're going to go to the second row. We're going to look at what challenges are testing your growth. This is going to tell us, this is going to explain why you have so much fear around whatever it is you want to do. You start off with the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is this picture of this ballerina that's just finished her final dance, and she's got all this support around her, these accolades and these people that are supporting you. But it's sitting here in your shadow, and so support was not something that you had when you were younger. Whenever you wanted to try something new, something different for yourself, you didn't get that support. And oftentimes, I know in my situation, it would come back as you can't do that because, or you're not allowed to do that because. And then there was just so much fear around trying anything new, or even asking to do anything new, because you knew there was going to be some rejection here. And I know that because the Three of Pentacles that I said that came out right underneath your other Three of Pentacles in the top row, it's in reverse here. And so this tells me that you didn't get the support. You didn't get the support that you needed around trying anything for yourself. And in fact, the Eight of Cups that comes up right after that, and that's a card about going off on your own, right? Going off on your own to, as an adult, if this wasn't in the shadow, it would be someone going off on their own to, it's like my shadow work card, like I'm going to do some real deep healing here. And so I think you were on your own when it came to feeling this rejection that you felt when you were younger. You had no support when you were younger. You weren't allowed to do anything, different for yourself. And you were very much on your own when you were younger. And so when it comes time here to want to do something for yourself right now, and you're feeling all this anxiety and this fear, well, it's this memory of when you were younger where there was no support for you. And so you're feeling quite alone. And you're feeling like, oh my God, I got to do this myself. And maybe that's why you're grabbing onto, you're wanting some kind of support here. And remember, and when you can remember that, oh, this is something, there's a memory here. This is something about what happened to me when I was younger, when I needed the support and I didn't get it. And so you got to get back to, you got to heal that younger part of you that didn't get that support and felt so alone. You got to sit with that loneliness. And sometimes that can mean having a lot of grieving You know, oftentimes I see the Six of Wands as a card that means there's some grieving that needs to be done. I've read that before for that card. And so that could be, you know, because behind that fear, there's going to be a lot of grief once you can get past that fear. And so what soul gifts did you come here to share? Like, there's something here that's wanting to come out. And you have the Six of Cups come out as the first card. And the Six of Cups refers to, you see how this individual, this is up, this is in reverse, but in an upright position, this card, you see how this individual is sort of having a flashback, is sort of looking back, is remembering. Six of Cups is kind of like a nostalgia card. It's a card of remembering. And maybe, you know, maybe there was something that you knew you wanted to do when you were younger. I mean, it's in reverse here. So I think there's a fear of remembering. Maybe you're not allowed to remember what happened or what this memory is around what it is you want to do. But maybe there was something you wanted to do when you were younger. And like, obviously you didn't get the support. And yeah, you were shut down and told that you couldn't do this for some reason. And so there is a memory around that. There's a memory here about some sort of gift you had, something you could do, something you wanted to do when you were younger. I think of, when I see that card too, I think of, you know, kids sometimes they'll share things with their parents. You know, I just saw, I was talking to Jesus, or I just saw something. I just saw a spirit, or I'm sort of talking about my shamanism journey. But, you know, things like that where you would have shown things when you were younger, and parents, caretakers, adults around you went, you know, put that away. Don't show that. And so I'm seeing here that, you know, there's a fear on your part. And there's a lot of fear in this reading. There's a fear on your part of going alone. Definitely going alone. But I think this is a card that's saying you're going to have to go out alone. And this is one way that you're going to meet your fear, right? This individual is standing on this pedestal. And he's going out alone. He feels very alone. He doesn't have the support of the people around him. And oftentimes when we are on this healing journey and we decide that we want to go in a certain direction and we're feeling all this fear, we're feeling all this anxiety, we're feeling all this resistance, and then we decide, you know, we're going to go off on our own and we start to tell certain people, that's when you're going to start to say, you're going to start to see those wands coming up and people are going to be going, who do you think you are? Who does that person think they are? Come on, come down off your pedestal. And that's the fear I think you're feeling, is that, am I going to be told to come down off my pedestal? There are going to be people that aren't going to want you to do this for their own insecurities and their own healing that they need to do. They are going to feel intimidated or insecure about what you're doing. But that is what's going to happen here in the universe, saying, you know, it's time for you to go off on your own, because there's something here for you. Once you take that step for yourself to go out on your own and face your fears, right? Because that's your biggest fear, is to do this alone, because you were very much alone and didn't get support when you were younger. And so now you're being asked, well, now you're going to have to do this alone. And it's really, really scary. And then the last card that comes out, a major arcana card, comes out, and it's the Hierophant card. And the Hierophant card speaks to me about how we've been wired. You know, what were we wired to learn? What were we wired to believe? What is it that you were wired to believe about whatever it is you want to do? What sort of ideas were you told? Because once you start to rewire that and understand, oh, this is what I was told. I was taught this. People told me this about myself. This is a huge energy for you right now to focus on. The last message here is, it's really time for you to start to say, okay, what is it I need to rewire about what I learned, or what I know about what I want to do. Because once you can start to unravel that and change that wiring, you know, go out on your own and do this and not have to worry about it, but I know it's really difficult, about what other people think. That's when there's something beautiful that's going to come out for you. And that's how it works, right? So I'm going to read you this card. This last message from, it's called Benefactor, Grace and Generosity. When the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you've put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts, even in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in myriad ways. The most beautiful gift the benefactor gives you is the recognition that you are stewarding and sharing abundance on behalf of a higher source, one that is always working through you. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as yours to others, are intangible, although you will see the results reflected in the material world. The benefactor reminds you that it's in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity that, paradoxically, your initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold, seemingly without any connection to the original act. So dream sharing and caring into being, and you will be amazed to see this vibrant seed take root and spread. Do it just because, and the benefactor will give her blessing. And so I do see that there's a blessing here that's going to come out for you. Once you take that step for yourself alone, it seems there's something that's going to unwind here for you. And so Capricorn, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. The healing journey is the most difficult journey of your life, but it's the most important one. So I want you to stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.